Okay, this is my wolf hat, and we want to continually remind you that plenty of humans on this planet acquiesce to being ruled by the Nazi cabal. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. The most famous example of the Stockholm Syndrome was an heiress, Patty Hearst. She was kidnapped by terrorists, and very soon she ended up actually robbing banks with the terrorists. Patty Hearst was the daughter of one of the, I think it might have been Randolph Hearst of Hearst Newspapers, who was filthy rich. And a Stockholm Syndrome person falls in love with their captors. So on planet Earth, plenty of human beings have fallen in love with the people who imprison them. This is Stockholm Syndrome. It's also known as brainwashing. Now, if you watch NBC News with Lester Holt, you will see that it is broadcast from Rockefeller Plaza. Rockefeller was the owner of Standard Oil. The family is still filthy rich. In Canada, Standard Oil, short form SO, Standard Oil, is known as ESSO, ESSO, Standard Oil. It was a monopoly. And at one time, the American government broke up enormous corporations into small corporations through antitrust legislation. But over the decades, Standard Oil became Standard Oil again through mergers and acquisitions. There are a small number of oil companies on the planet, enormous companies. And the news media is the same way. Lester Holt lies for a living. He's paid handsomely to tell lies. The reason Rockefeller News tells lies is they like it the way it is. They like to have a planet of sheeple, that is, people who don't have any critical thinking in their noggins, who just bow and say, "Yes, Mr. Rockefeller, your lies are truths for me." Critical thinking is the main problem we have on planet Earth, in that humans are not engaging critical thinking. They hear the news from the radio or the television, which is basically a monopoly, and they say, that's the way it is. If the news said today the sky is pink, and you looked up there, I don't know if you can see past the tree, but if you looked up there and you saw blue, but you told everybody, you told your mother, the sky's pink, and even though your eyes are registering blue, I'd say that you are deeply brainwashed. And that's what we see here on planet Earth today, the brainwashing of planet Earth. It is difficult to tell you that when I engage with brainwashed people, they just get mad at me. And I get mad at them. Joseph Goebbels was the minister of propaganda for Nazi Germany during World War II. And he was famous for a policy known as the big lie. He said, if you're going to tell a lie, make it a whopper. And you keep repeating the same lie day after day, hour after hour. And he was convinced as long as you keep sticking to your lies, that people will come around and they will tell you the sky is pink. And today, plenty of human beings are looking up at the blue sky and saying, that's pink. And then they tell me the sky is pink, and I go, you fucking idiot. You've been watching Lester Holt again, haven't you? And then they get angry at me. And then I tell them, I've sent you article after article that should raise red flags in your head that you're being lied to by Lester Holt. These same people, they want their time. They want equal time to repeat the lies that Lester Holt has told them. To me, I've already heard them the first time. I don't want to hear more Lester Holt, Standard Oil, Rockefeller News lies. And I don't want to hear the same lies from Rockefeller politicians. Like Patty Hajdu, the Minister of Health for Canada, who tells all the people in Canada, stay home, don't fly. You're in quarantine. And then Patty Hajdu flies from the nation's capital in Ottawa on a private government jet. She flies to my town, Thunder Bay, because she's an elite. Patty Hajdu needs to be arrested and thrown in prison in Kingston, Ontario, in the penitentiary. And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau needs to be thrown in prison too. And Lester Holt needs to be thrown in prison. We have to have a lot of people arrested and thrown in prison for imprisoning us in their web of lies. The big pharmaceutical companies, all arrested. All the people arrested. The doctors, they have to have a deprogramming session. If you belong to a cult, you're so deeply brainwashed, you have to have an expert come in to deprogram you. And that's what needs to happen with the medicos. Deprogramming. Who's going to do this work? I don't know. Yesterday I walked downtown. I saw a lot of people wearing black masks over their faces. Sheeple. This is the zombie apocalypse. The zombies are walking around because they don't have any critical thinking. They never look and say, are you telling me the truth or lying? It's like crack addicts, People who are addicted to crack cocaine. They've sold their houses, they've sold their cars. They've stolen all the money that their family has. They go around breaking into houses to look for more things that they can take to the pawn shop to get money to buy crack. They never have enough crack. You could give them a mountain of crack, it wouldn't be enough because it's an addiction. People know how addictive crack is. It seems like the lies that are told through the television are just as addictive as crack. I can't recognize these people who are addicted to mainstream news. The lies, I can't recognize them. They are as addicted to mainstream lies as a crack addict is addicted to crack cocaine. So we have an addiction problem. And we don't have an alternative news source. As I've said before, the media is a monopoly. And the politicians who give the media licenses, I don't think they even need licenses anymore. In the old days when they broadcast over the air, they had to have a media license. Now, it's done through satellite and cable. But there is no one who has an alternative mainstream news piped into everyone's head. We have George Orwell's 1984 here on planet Earth today. It was a novel written after World War II that Orwell said this is a dystopia, not a utopia, a dystopia, and this is how it happens. You have Big Brother with television sets telling you what to think. And you have enforcement officers make sure that you're towing the line, that you are repeating the lies of the television. And that's what we have today, 1984, except it's 2020. I've done this talk before and it doesn't do any good. Do you believe in miracles, Mr. Wolf? Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?